I'm totally muted. Fuck me. This is a bit... You know how we fix this?
Well, no.
Let's see how we fix this. Oh man, this is like totally play Warhammer for the first time. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wow. Jim, how's it going?
Allow me to unmute myself. I'm doing great. We have a sleeping toddler at home. Everyone is being well rested and the like. So I'm personally doing great. I'm excited to get back into this. You guys are nearing some sort of climax that who knows what's going to happen. And we've got 2 new characters with us today that we get to know. So
I totally fucked it up again, Jim. Just saying, like, I'm still muted apparently. All right. Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay for the very first fucking time. We're here again for yet another episode of Warhammer Beneath Dark Bowers with the best of us here. Let's go around, let's figure out who we are and who we are playing. We have Jim back with us tonight. Jim, how's it going?
I'm doing great. As I explained a moment ago, I'm sleeping well now and excited to see what's in store for today as we race towards the climax of Beneath Dark Boughs, and to meet our 2 new characters that have joined us today. So yeah, doing good.
Let's do that. Awesome stuff. We have Pruitt back with us tonight. Pruitt, how's it going, my friend?
It's going great there, Will Jones. As we all know, Will is a D&D sex icon and better seen than heard. But I look forward to bringing all of Eamon's tools to bear, even the ones that he probably should not be bearing. But it's excited. Things are going crazy, and we'll see who's left standing when the chaos is finally thwarted.
Awesome. We also have Charlie back with us tonight. Charlie, how's it going?
I'm just thinking about tools to bear and flashing back to that whole Volker scene. But anyway, I'm good. I am really excited to get going today and play Astrid, who is going to give Matthias a run for his money with any luck. Yeah, see
Absolutely.
where this quest to find our ritual breaking item. I think it's an item we're looking for, right? If not a witch. Or 2.
Probably.
Yeah, where that leads us.
Bad things are happening and we're going to stop them. Awesome. We also have Alice back with us tonight. Alice, how's it going?
Hello. Been looking forward to this all week, as I know I say every week, but I really am. I am bringing in the new character, Brienne Talon, who is a very young, she's only sort of, well, she thinks she's around 17, 18, she's not too sure, and she is a road warden, and probably a bit too soft for these sorts of things, but I'm just hoping she doesn't die. I hope she survives at least 1 episode, please.
1 episode will be good. That's once you made it past the first one, you're safe for another couple. Great stuff. And last but not least, we do not have Gareth with us today. We finally found a way to lock him out of these calls that he keeps just joining into for no reason. So he won't be with us today. Maybe he'll find his way back to us in the future. My fingers are crossed. As for myself, I'll be playing Matthias Hurst, the vampire hunter who is on a mission from God to stop any heresy in any forms and to burn it now with his most recent found firebug mania. And so he's ready to blow things up. But before we get into today's game, I'll remind you guys, of course, we are sponsored here today by FancyGrounds.com. Check out Fancy Grounds. They have a free demo license you can check out over there on their site. Or you can get their first license, which starts for only $4 on FantasyGrounds.com. Secondly, for your Warhammer needs, go to whalengames.co.uk. They sell all the lines of Warhammer models over there. And, of course, all your D&D and RPG books add up to 20% off the retail value on whalengames.co.uk. Obviously, you guys can interact with today's show. If you haven't followed yet, be sure to hit the follow button and join us. We're just 3 retweets away, apparently, from a viewer decision on that tweet there in the chat. And, of course, you can donate to affect the game by giving players Nat 1s, Nat 20s, Wild Magic Surges, and actual Cannibal Shire the buff. For just a couple of days left in this month. But I will hand over to our Dungeon Master, Jim Davis, to remind ourselves of what happened last week on the show.
Last week, the party finished up their battle with a group of Talite extremists in the woods, and the third time that they have fought a particular bloodletter who dealt Nora a grievous and fatal injury, which she narrowly avoided through the fate point. The party also met a curious beast of the forest, an ancient being that assisted them and seemed to know their druid companion, Ermelinda. This creature buried Yidris and Nora in a shallow grave and told them to come back later, that they would be healed. And so the party set off, following Aemon's Raven, and met up with 2 new companions, Astrid, an Ulrican Templar and witch hunter, and her traveling companion, Brienne, who so far has been a little tight-lipped about her past. I believe we ended with Matthias and Astrid getting drunk, trading war stories, and vowing to have a shooting contest in the morning, which we find ourselves in right now. So, waking up from a night of drinking and war stories and the like, dawn pierces through the leafy canopy of the springtime forest, and here you guys are. Another day, another group of witches to find.
Perhaps it would be best to press on. My head is not as clear as it normally is.
Are you afraid you're going to lose, Matthias?
Fine, if you will challenge me, then so be it. I merely wish to see that heresy is destroyed this day.
I think that we can agree on. Perhaps, yes, it can wait, if you'd like. I would rather our match was...
We can test our mettle in the heat of battle, I'm sure. Otherwise, we're just wasting shot. It was the alcohol talking, I'm sure. Let us gather our companions. Aemon, are you ready to travel?
Yes, I just need to finish my morning revelries, looking at the signs, the morning star. Just a few minutes. And he will go about doing all of that. Meanwhile, Bran is actually like there, kind of like perched on his staff that's leaning in the crook of a tree, just all looking at you. This oversized raven, just like ruffling its feathers and picking at its leg. And Aemon's like, "There's nothing wrong with your leg. Leave it alone."
I don't question it. I look towards Brienne and say, "And Brienne of Obelheim, are you ready to journey today?"
I am, and you notice she's already jumped up, she's packed up, she's one of those really awkward people ready to go and eager to go. She looks like she's had a great night's sleep and just can't wait to get on the road. So I'm ready whenever anyone else is. You just point the way and I'll go.
All right. Well, let us set out. And I believe it's been a week. We're headed southeast. Gotta find the map. There it is. Yeah.
I've got an updated version this time.
Yeah, I like this.
Nice.
All the fires that we've been in.
You guys can track the progress from the ruined villages that you leave behind.
I see you took a very direct route in your tackling of the beaches.
I bring out this map, which I've labeled all the directions. Sometimes heresy is omnidirectional.
It would seem so.
It is not always a straight path, but we are headed towards the end.
Right.
Hopefully
Then-
not the end.
Let us follow the path that your raven has laid out before us, Eamon. Let us find where these cultists lie and root them out.
That we will. And Eamon finishes bundling up all of his gear, and
Gotcha.
it's ready to set out.
Okay. Anyone
let's
else making any
see.
final preparation? Right, Astrid.
Astrid is just going to ask Eamon what signs he'd observed for the day.
Well, if you would like, I can ask the Blue Winds how our journey will be received this morning.
I am very curious to see how your powers work.
And with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cast Omen. Just looking at, I just want to see, our travels towards where Bran scouted these assholes out. Like, just see our progress up to that.
Okay. You're asking the omen what lies ahead based on the planned journey that you have. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did I read you right? Yeah.
Yes, as we head to this specific spot, what lies in our path, ill or nothing, or and so I'm just going to do my normal, just one, because I have +9. I'm going to do a channeling roll to that, and then here's my extra die, and so no Zinch's Curse.
Correct.
And yeah, after about a minute of looking up at I find the last star that is still in the sky and look at it through various crystals and place them down. And then at the end of it, look at the pattern that the crystals have made.
Yeah. You're sort of looking at the last of these stars as they fade with the morning rays of sun. Your omen is clouded. For the most part, the signs read of a cleared path, but something up ahead will confuse and obstruct. Something warps the magic of your spell.
He will tell them that I believe that the gloaming is affecting me even now. Path looks clear, but there is something trying to interfere with it. We should keep watch.
Brienne
Astrid
just
looks to
Scout up
Brienne.
ahead.
Rattle Scout up ahead.
Oh, that's an ally to have some information with us. For us,
Oh, yeah.
and a wild magic surge for me. That's great.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
And so it begins. As we set out after.
So an ally arrives that has
some information for us, yeah.
information. Perfect.
Oh, this one's good. When I next enter my home, I am healed of all damage. Hopefully psychological
Sweet.
damage as well.
Yes.
But didn't Matthias burn down his home?
Shut up.
Well, one could say that metaphysically, at a burning, that is where Matthias is at most home. So maybe
Yeah.
the next time he burns
Goodness.
someone.
Next bonfire. Yeah.
Right. The next bonfire. Matthias's home. The next burning of heretics and the like. So y'all set out then, early in the morning. Eamon has taken his early morning omens. Brienne is already bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to go. Matthias sort of, shaking off last night's drinking. And then you said Astrid was sort of also gathering up everything.
Yeah, she'll just be like prepping her horse and briefing Brienne on what she expects of her.
Gotcha. In that case, you set off. And in the early morning, this stretch of forest is rather lightly, or sort of the tree cover in it is rather light. And so there's sort of like great big fields of sort of tall grass and wildflowers that are just beginning to bloom. And you get a lot of good sunshine. It seems like a pleasant little morning stroll in the woods. This lasts for maybe an hour or so before you get into the deep, thick woods that you are more used to, and the shadows close in around you, and the brightness and easiness of the journey with which you started out fades as the game trail that you were following southeast becomes thick with brambles and overgrown elements, and your horses start to trip and stumble and have to slow down.
Do Matthias and Eamon have their own horses? I forget where we were at with mounts.
I believe that I don't think Matthias and Eamon had any mounts. I think it's just Brienne and Astrid.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah. And as
welcome to ride with us. I have a nice big war horse.
Eamon will turn to look at Matthias.
Certainly.
I do not mind.
Anything that speeds our way to defeating chaos is fine by me.
Brienne immediately offers a hand out to either one of them to help pull up onto her horse.
Eamon will take Brienne's hand and just kind of flash a look at Matthias and a bit of a brief smile and just kind of like hop up.
Nods grimly.
All right then.
You'll
Doubling.
forgive me if I keep hold of the reins, Matthias.
It becomes that scene from Ghost. All of a sudden, I take the ring.
No ghosting. Doubling up on the horses does pick up the pace as you travel, and you start to notice a gentle downward sloping of the land as your horses pick their way through the undergrowth and crowded trees of the forest. It's not too long before you come to a fog-enshrouded stream that blocks your way.
This does not bode well.
This is an unnatural fog, Eamon.
I do believe. Yes, it is. 1 second. And he'll kind of close his eyes, and Bran will like take off from his staff and like fly a quick circuit, probably about maybe like 500 feet around, just to give a quick look around before we proceed forward. See if he sees anything.
Okay. While Bran is doing that, I'd like everyone present to make me perception tests. It's vision based if you have any talents that are based off that.
Does dark vision help me because it's gloomy, or?
Not in this case. I mean, there's still enough light that you don't need.
It's actually a success.
Hey.
That is a failure.
Mine is not.
All right.
Brienne's not paying attention. She's probably humming to herself as she goes, leads the horse down.
And Eamon, as Bran flies up, the view from Bran's eyes is very different. There's no fog enshrouding the stream. There's not anything like that. And while the stream is sort of flows under the canopy of the forest and is difficult to follow for him from the air, that's it. Like, there's nothing that that Bran sees, like that you see in front of you. Matthias and Eamon then also see movement in the fog coming in your direction. A vaguely humanoid-shaped figure in the fog.
So when I ask Bran there, he sees nothing, but I'm seeing someone walk through the fog.
Correct.
And I'll just whisper. I'll whisper to Matthias. Bran, my raven does not see what I see.
I draw my pistol and just lean forwards and point towards the figure coming towards us in the mist, so that Astrid and the others can see.
Astrid has been trying to keep her horse calm against the creepy fog that's kind of unsettling it on the uneven ground. And she'll look up as Matthias points to see whatever's out there.
Brienne will draw her bow if she sees Matthias.
Okay.
Act that way.
I call out, "Who goes there?"
A voice from the fog. "It is I, Zalgeg." And a figure sort of steps out. I'll let Eamon go in just a second. Materializes from the fog of a staggering dwarf. Numerous cuts and bruises cover his shirtless torso. He still has the patchwork sort of shave job that Nora gave them that night. He's covered in mud and his blood of some kind, and is sort of dragging one of the makeshift weapons that the other dwarves had created behind him. And he materializes out of the fog. Eamon, you were going to do something?
Well, Eamon, the words of a defensive spell were about to come out, and then he sees who steps through the fog, and he kind of bites them back. And seeing that this is some form of slayer, as I believe he believes that's what these dwarves call themselves.
Yeah, he's got a messy mohawk, beard roughly shaven away from his face, with clearly just some scissors or shears, and like I said, a big makeshift weapon that he's dragging behind him. Is that you, witch hunter?
I jump off from the horse to go and meet him, and looking down at him, I say, "So you have not met your doom yet, Slayer? A disappointment, for sure." And I reach out my arm to do the arm clasp.
He grasps it with a strength that his wounds would seem to suggest he otherwise lacks. And yes, the others, they have met their ancestors in there with their honor intact.
Praise
It eludes
Sigmar.
me yet, though. He looks at the other three. Where are the rest that you had with you at Obelheim?
To Sigmar, or at rest. These are the companions we travel with now.
And Nora?
She lives. She is but 3 days' travel behind us. Should be on our way. Perhaps your paths will cross if you head whichever way it is, northwards.
I'm afraid that my path does not lie in that direction, but rather upstream.
see, as does ours, I fear. Have you seen what lies up ahead? We chased a band of cultists up this way. We believe they have their lair somewhere further to the southeast behind the great curtain of water. Have you seen any such thing?
I saw it. I saw it with my own eyes. There is the stream. They have a camp upstream in the hills. Some sort of something is wrong with it. It was difficult to make our way forward and maintain our senses. They ambushed us, and we fought as best we could. Many of them are dead. I do not know what happened to my companions other than the last I saw. They were surrounded.
How many did they number?
There was perhaps 24 there. The camp was much larger, though.
Very well. Well, I am happy to see you, Zalgig. Although, I would have hoped that you had met your death upon the battlefield. Perhaps, alongside us, we can rejoin the fight.
He kind of looks around and sees sort of the direction you're headed. Yes. You mentioned cultists. He kind of shakes his head and sort of blinks his eyes a couple of times. I saw 4 of them come this way yesterday. A couple of them busted up. I don't know why they would be going upriver. Are they your quarry?
Aye. We believe that, well, there was a bloodletter amongst their number. Almost slew Nora. But we managed to defeat it yet again.
Yet again.
They go back to their master, to the source of this heresy. We must find them and kill them.
It is how we found the path. We followed them.
Ah, well. Very well. And you see, he's just got this vacant, like, 1,000-yard stare, almost sort of sees past you and through you, even when attempting to meet your gaze, and turns around and kind of like hefts this old tree saw turned glaive that he's got, and just starts walking back into the fog without saying much.
Zalgig.
Yes.
Quite well.
He looks around him for a second. It'll be well enough. It's upstream here.
Lead the way. Sure, kind of warning look, glance back at Eamon and Brienne and Astrid as this guy looks like he's maybe a little bit out of it, but...
Yeah, Eamon's going to dismount and walk from here. Because you said the ground is kind of descending. I assume it's getting a little uneven.
Yeah.
So yeah, Eamon's going to begin walking.
And to catch up on these donations here,
Yes.
there is something, monster or otherwise, that is DM choice for Jim. Something maybe to help us, maybe to hurt us, when you so desire. And Eamon, Astrid, and Brienne have wild magic surges from Dave, so I'll go look these up real quick. So we enter into the mists. Eamon, boy, you can't sleep until you shave your head bald. Interesting.
Okay.
Cool. Brienne on 6266. Oh, there's 3 6s in that one. You are suddenly standing under the nearest bridge. Oh. Kind of, yeah.
Horse.
I mean, that could be good because I found a bridge, but
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that's cool. And then Astrid, the ground beneath where Astrid is charged with electricity. Electric.
Okay.
Make sure to
Ground
cross the
of
stream
That's really
before
good
her.
for someone dressed in
Mhm.
plate on a horse.
Right. Okay.
It's not going to end badly.
It's not going to end badly at all. There is a. All right. Can't sleep till bald. Standing on the nearest bridge. That was for Brienne. The stream's right here. There's a small ford that crosses it. That'd be the closest thing to a bridge anywhere near here. So I think maybe Brienne probably just seems to already be well ahead of the rest of you.
Wasn't she just range?
I'm assuming dismounted from the horse. We haven't both.
Mhm.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Wait up, Astrid. We should stick together.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow
Brienne.
Zalg again.
Oh, I
And-
see.
and-
Okay.
And as we
Sorry.
begin moving again, Eamon's going to check in with Bran. Does he now see this Slayer, or does he still not see him?
He doesn't see him now. No. Why? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. That's the Aemon is beginning to question reality right now. So and he will mention that. He will mention that to Matthias, like whether it is this fog that is hiding the goings on here. Bran cannot see this Slayer.
Interesting. Perhaps the fog's obscure.
And Aemon's going to
The
walk
gloaming
into the
sign.
fog. Yeah,
Mhm.
well, Aemon's going to walk into the fog and then try to talk to Bran.
Bran can't see you.
It is the fog. It hides movement. Look sharp. And that still might not be enough.
Try and catch up with Zalgig.
You can sort of see him up ahead. It's a thick fog, but more like once you pass through it, there's sort of like an area of like pea soup, sort of barely see anything fog. And you pass through that, and it's more of a light haze that just sort of hangs in the air. And you can indeed see a stream just slowly winding its way through the forest, and Zalgeg kind of trudging along its shore into the hills. And so I guess
we
that's
follow
where.
him?
Yeah.
Yep.
Gonna be
Astrid
trusted.
staying on her horse.
Astrid staying on her horse.
Brienna's
Yeah.
just leading hers.
Okay.
And Aemon's going to call Bran back to him.
All right. Bran passes through the fog in an odd. The way he would kind of describe it is just sort of he perceives himself suddenly within it as he flies through the canopy of trees back to where you are.
Mhm.
The five of you set out upstream. Is anyone taking any precautions? How is everyone sort of carrying and sort of composing themselves as they travel through this magic fog into the hills?
It's probably been... Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just going to say, it's probably been an hour since Aemon put up his Port Navabul, so he's just going to re-up that.
Astrid staying on her horse is going to use her skills of follow trail and navigation to try and just get through as best she can. She's also got riding skill.
Is that okay?
I was going to say, Brienne is sort of following close to everyone, but constantly checking over her shoulder, or every noise she is looking in the direction of it.
Yeah.
Just to see if she can see anything other than mist.
I keep a hand on my pistol, ready to shoot Zalgeg in case he turns. Or I trust no one.
All right. Zalgeg seems to be some sort of singular mind as he passes through here, and the sound of your footfalls and the hooves of your horses is the only thing you hear. No birds, no little critters or squirrels or chipmunks and things like that running through. Even the light here is faded and pale. The hills abruptly emerge from the ground, and the stream winds its way up through them, running down smooth rocks and the like. Zalgeg is following some sort of trail. If Astrid would, you said you were also attempting to follow this trail as well?
Yeah, because I have the skills follow trail and navigation, which I think would probably help in kind of getting through where we're going.
Yes. Go ahead and make me a follow trail then, just if you can see the one that Zalgeg is following.
Success.
Right. Yeah.
Only
There's some sort of well-worn path that leads up into these hills. It winds its way around rocks and up the slope. And for the most part,
Sorry. I was gonna say, do I see any evidence of like a lot of feet coming through here? You said it's well worn, but does it look like there's a lot of fresh tracks through here? Or is it just continuous use?
There are... Actually, that's a good question. Are you dismounted?
No, I'm on my horse.
Okay. I think like...
I've got the skill search, if that helps.
Yeah, to get that level of detail, you're going to have to like get down on the ground and check it out.
That's very inconvenient. I'm in plate armor. I will stay on my horse.
You're Squire.
I'll ask Brienne if she can see. Like, just under my breath, I'll just call to her to look for tracks.
Okay.
I just nod to Astrid and immediately basically do as I was told.
Okay. Then have Bria make me a search roll.
Oh dear. Yeah, failed.
There's a lot of different kinds of tracks that come through here. You do see what might be animal prints, goat, certainly hoof tracks, but what direction they're going, how many of them there are, it's really difficult to tell.
Okay. She looks at she's like, there's nothing clear here. Animals at a guess, but no particular direction.
At which point you just kind of hit the click as like a pistol is just ready should she need to fire it, but she's not arming herself this second as such. It's just prepped.
It's a perfect spot for an ambush.
Yes.
Brienne's bow is out.
Zalgeg turns back when Matthias says that. He's like, you can see some of our handiwork behind those bushes. They tried to get us here first. And he just like turns over his shoulder and as just as a comment to Matthias.
I'll take a look.
There are probably about 6 or so clearly mutants that have been hacked to pieces. It looks like they themselves were armed with makeshift weapons and the like, but they're sort of people who've had, say, patches of fur that have grown on them, or beaks grown from their faces. They're just mutated by the presence of chaos. And lying here, been dead, looks like probably at least 2 days.
This was a while past, Zalgeg. By the looks of their bodies.
These are the ones that fled from the camp downstream. They tried to stop us from getting to whatever's up here behind that pool.
Let's see. How much longer?
Not too much further. Be there before dark.
Good. Let us press on.
Most of the rest of this midday period of you traveling along this footpath up into the hills is marked by similar sort of incidents. Zalgeg making bizarre, cryptic comments, and just a general sense of unease of being watched and observed. Otherwise, this stretch of the hilly forest is quiet, and the path winds its way back and forth across the stream several times. So give me an idea of what this middle of the day period is like for your characters. What do they do? Any precautions that they take as they make their way deeper into the hills?
I send Rad up ahead to scout. No, I'm kidding. I keep an eye ever on our surroundings, and I think try and stick fairly close to the rest of the party so that we don't get separated or cut off if there is an ambush up ahead. Probably let Zalgeg lead.
Yeah, he seems to keep a pretty steady pace ahead of you guys, and unless anyone like directly talks to him, he only pauses to say something, like, "Oh yeah, he references his former companions a lot. Rathod spotted one of them here first. Things like that as you make your way through the forest trail.
I grunt at him occasionally when he says this.
How about everyone else?
Astrid is listening really closely to the things he comes out with. Sorry for it. And using my knowledge of tactics and strategy and war, I want to see if it makes sense to Astrid, the things that he's saying. If it seems like it's, sensical, or if it's just weird fragments of like PTSD, that sort of like broken mindset, or if we're being like maybe misled, like he contradicts himself, that sort of thing.
Gotcha. I mean, your training in sort of the ways of battle and the ways of war matches up with Zalgeg's descriptions. Match up with what you know about, say, a group of lightly armed and armored soldiers trying to fend off an advancing force. It sounds like they were pursuing someone upstream that kept trying to delay them. But every time they tried, the Slayers just tore through them. That kind of thing. All told, there's about 20 or so mutants that Zalgeg points out and lying in either ditches or shallow graves or the like. They just picked up their bodies and threw them off the path that you discovered throughout that middle part of the day. How about Eamon and Brienne?
Eamon will probably be constantly bickering with Bran, because Bran doesn't like to be on the ground like this for this long, and this fog, he claims, is making his allergies act up. And so he's constantly telling him, just like, no, you're fine. You're not cramping. Shut up. And more to just try to keep his mind off of the uneasiness creeping in. But he will let everyone know if should it look like battle is upon us, I can enchant your weapons for a time. This was made clear to me last night in my studies. Basically, just letting everyone know that.
Brienne is sticking close to Astrid, and again, constantly looking around, alert for everything. And every now and then, if she sees the body of one of the mutants, she can't help but linger on it a little bit, she's never really seen this sort of thing before.
Mhm.
But she tries to shake it from her head and press on.
Okay. As you go on throughout this this midday stretch of the journey, the wounds that these mutants have suffered increase in their sort of severity, and every time you pass by one of these impromptu burial sites, they just look even more and more vicious until it's starting to seem as if the bodies were mutilated after the fact. And it's shortly before what would be lunch that Zalgeg stops at a pile of debris and something, and just kneels next to it briefly. There's some sort of pile right next to the stream.
I'll take a look at the pile. Oh, actually, I'll say to Zalgeg. What is that?
It's Magzedhud. Yeah. One of them dropped a rock from the tree on him. He didn't live long after that. But he took it with him. And he sort of spits in the direction of some bushes or something nearby.
I nod and look by. Keep your eyes on the sky then, in case one of them tries to ambush us in similar manner.
He like as if it never occurred to him, or he'd forgotten what it is that he's remembering. Just sort of like looks up into the trees vacantly before it's back to his usual trudging onward.
Perhaps we'll get to test your sword today. Bien.
She sort of stumbles over her words. If it comes to it, I prefer my bow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We're almost there.
Okay. Anyone else doing anything during this brief stop?
Eamon will go ahead and re-up his portent.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and do a channeling roll to give myself a bonus. What you do?
Yep.
I'm only using one again.
Well, that extra warpstone die does not count towards your casting roll. It is only there to screw you over.
Oh, I know. I'm like I said, I'm only using one die. I'm always adding one.
Gotcha.
So whatever the last thing is always going to be the FU die.
Gotcha.
So,
okay.
But yeah, so I re-up my second portent.
There you go.
And Eamon will find Brienne and just, are you good with a bow then? Yes.
I like to think so. Well, I'm better at it with them. I am with the sword.
Well, here, let me give you something. And he'll like take 5 of her arrows and mutter some words over them, and he will bless her arrows. They will be good for a time.
Thank you. I don't really understand what you just did, but thank you.
They will strike truer against more, shall we say, fantastic enemies. they will make themselves known to you.
Well, hopefully I get a chance to prove myself. And she sort of gestures to Matthias and Astrid, like, I think I need to.
I look towards Astrid. And I look back towards Brienne. Yes? What?
Nothing.
Perhaps,
Okay.
Matthias, we should burn the bodies. What with the demons rising, as you have described. Would not do us
What a
good
good
to have
idea.
something come from behind us in these mists.
Fire is cleansing. Well, I start putting a torch to these people so that I'm happy again.
And there's still a haze about, right?
Yes, there's still a haze about. Go ahead and roll me a
Yeah.
D10 for Matthias.
Yeah, Eamon's early apprehension. He looks around. He's like, will not give away our position.
Matthias is in a period of bliss and euphoria for about the next 8 hours before.
What have we unleashed?
I love burning bodies.
In the morning. That's the smell of victory.
Let's be honest,
So,
this is
yeah.
Matthias's nom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So that takes up the better part of any sort of like break that you guys would have in the journey, gathering all these bodies up and burning them. During which, does anyone keep sight of or do anything with Zalgeg?
Eamon is actually, he's still very interested in Zalgeg. He's never actually, through all of his studies, he's actually never seen a dwarven slayer. One
Right.
who has taken the Slayer's Oath. So he's actually pretty intrigued by him.
Okay.
I
So
think
Eamon
Brienne
is sort of
would
interested. Watch the burning.
No, watch Zalgeg. Just a bit like Eamon, half intrigued, but all at the same time, she's sort of thinking, well, he knows where we're going.
So do y'all let him know that? I guess you let him know you're stopping and burning the bodies and everything. Then.
Yes.
Okay. He sort of, otherwise he just keeps going unless anybody tells him anything. He sort of stops and watches this burning of the bodies, and during it he is rather passive and kind of just swaying on his feet gently, supported by this makeshift polearm that he has.
I don't comment. That's what I do normally. My burn bodies. I look bacon and I swing. It's normal behavior.
Right. So Matthias gets to work. The bodies roast in a makeshift pyre, and you guys are ready to set out again?
Yep.
Yeah. The pathway changes a bit after a while. The hills themselves, the tree cover lightens a bit. The ground gets more rocky and broken up. And the path widens out somewhat, but at the same time, it gets steeper. Zalgeg mentions this is the camp. It's just on the other side of this. If you listen carefully, you can hear the falls, or you'll see what it is. And he makes his way up this steeper portion of the path.
I'll hang back just a little bit as Zalgeg goes ahead and say, he has lost some of his wits and mind, I think, in the battle. Should be careful of Zalgeg. I think if we point him in a direction, not much will stop him.
Yes, that much I have heard of those that take his oath. What happened to him?
Obelheim happened to him. Perhaps young Brienne remembers. 'Twas not long ago. We fought there. Many died. His band were woodcutters there. We tried to protect them. They survived, although Obelheim fell. That was their shame. So he took the oath. Journeyed into the woods. He's been carving his own path of destruction, while we have been. He seeks a glorious death.
It's a noble thing to do.
Must be. I'm not sure he would see it that way, but I do agree.
I'll follow on after him.
Yeah. This portion of the trip, or the climb rather, is the horses are would have difficulty making it up this way, and would also really kind of completely ruin any element of surprise that you might want to maintain. So it looks like Zalgeg is just going to walk in here. Are you anybody trying to take a more stealthy approach, or are you just following right behind him?
Looking at the route ahead, is there like a tactical flanking trail or anything like that?
I mean, there's the rest of the hill you could attempt to scale, and it's it's not like a sheer Cliffordy thing. It's just really strewn with rocks and the like. It's broken ground.
Perhaps we should call for Zalgeg to halt while we figure out the best path forward. What say you, Eamon? Sorry, Matthias.
I don't know.
Talking to yourself now.
What say you? I say yes.
What say you? Yes. Yeah, I will. I'll nod and place a hand on Zalgeg's shoulder. Zalgeg, we wish to seek a more tactical approach. Perhaps they will not see us coming this time, and we will be the ones to ambush them.
Yes.
That way vigilance can properly be yours.
Yes. He whatever life he has in him, it burns brightly in his eyes, and yes, it will be. And he sits down on a rock while y'all plan it out, and seems to be more alert for the time being. So this hillside right now, you can't really tell what's on the crest of it. You're looking up maybe about 50 meters of rocky ground with this path that kind of snakes its way up the hillside. On either side of the path are rocks and small shrubs, and there are trees as well, just plenty of space between them. It appears like there might be some sort of picket or fence or some kind just over the crest of the hill, but it's difficult to see. So that's kind of your options, either off the path where it's more broken, plenty of cover though, or straight up the path, easier but exposed.
Brienne and I could approach from this side with our bows. It will be quiet. May offer some surprise and advantage.
There is no parley with folks such as this. We'll strike them hard and fast as they attacked Zalgeg and his band before. It's a good idea.
I could fly to the top of the hill quietly, if you would prefer.
Very well,
Can
I
your
will
bird-
stand.
Can your bird give us eyes on what is at the top of the hill?
Let me see. The fog has been an obscuring presence. And, Bren. And I will go ahead and maintain, contact with him as he begins to fly away. And basically I'm telling him, tell me what you see at every moment. Do we disappear? Is the fog still blocking you? But go to the top of the hill.
So you want to
Just
fly
see
to
if
the
he
top?
can actually see. Yeah.
How high up is Bran flying?
I'm actually telling him. I mean, not too terribly high, not exposed, but at least try to break free of the haze. But Eamon thinks that the haze is probably still going to be obscuring. Like this is this effect is far and wide.
Yeah, so you're trying to get him above the haze a bit, but not so high that he would be exposed.
Yeah, I don't want to leave him with his feathers hanging out.
Gotcha. So it's as he's flying up, catches a brief glimpse of sort of the top of the crest of the hill, and it seems as though somewhere between 15 to 20 feet in the air is where the fog sort of has its boundary. As he flies up, you can sort of sees a large pool of water that's draining down the mountainside and into this stream that you've been following. Something on the far edge of it, though, seems curious to Bran. Difficult to see because of the haze, but you can barely make out the sounds of some sort of roaring water, or rushing water, or something. Bran also catches a glimpse of some sort of makeshift camp of dugouts and huts and pins and the like that sort of surrounds this pool of water before he breaks free of the fog, and from the air can't really see much of anything.
Okay, I will relay all that and then tell him to come back.
Okay.
But I will make a point to say that there is something on the other side of the water, but I do not want him to go. They have already spotted him once. Would not want to tip our hand just yet.
Okay.
Well, let us move silently.
Brienne looks to Astrid and just says, I step where you step. Follow you?
Fear not spilling your blood and fear not death. And she'll go into that. She'll walk her horse towards the trees. She's not going to leave him out on the path. And just kind of find somewhere reasonably sheltered to tie him off.
Okay.
And then kind of scout around and up.
And Brienne will probably follow suit.
Okay. In that case, the two of you give me. You're looking for a way up the hill that kind of comes in sort of at an angle or sort of a way to flank.
Yeah.
Is that what
Kind of flanking the main road.
Okay.
Kind of either at like the middle point of the top, or, like a bit further back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean the terrain here is fairly well suited for what you're trying to do. The real difficulty is going to be not making too much noise in your armor as you climb up the hill.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so that's what Astrid and Brienne are doing. How about Eamon and Matthias? And do you do anything with Zalgeg?
Before we depart, Eamon will ask anyone who believes that with what we have had before, the blessing I can place upon your weapons might come in handy. If you have something you would like touched by the Aether wind, I can make it so it can strike all manner of supernatural being.
Perhaps my sword. 'Twould be useful indeed.
Okay.
Okay.
And Zalgeg, would you like your axe blessed?
He looks down at it. If it'll help.
Okay. So that's for Matthias's sword.
Mhm.
And then he will turn to Zalgeg and bless that. And then he will turn to Astrid and Brienne. Would you care to allow
Astrid.
my magic to guide your strikes?
Astrid will pull her longbow off of the saddle of her horse and hold that out.
I need the ammunition fired from it, please. The bow itself, it would not do much good.
She'll pull the quiver down and hold that out for him.
Okay.
Brienne.
I'm going to re-roll that one because that's technically a 1.
Mhm.
Jim Davis.
Yep.
Okay. And so the second one, that's fine. And then Brienne.
She holds out her quiver and says, "Can you do more than you did earlier then?"
I may bless up to 5 pieces of ammunition. It will last an hour.
And she sort of hurriedly holds them out to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow, I'm not rolling any. Yeah, this is awesome. Anyway, really fucking lucky. And so, yeah, he blesses. He just sits there and begins muttering and just passing weapons back and forth as tinges of blue light kind of light on the weapons and the ammo, and then kind of shimmer into back to normalcy. He then begins muttering to himself, and I'm going to cast Flight on myself, and I'm going to go ahead and channel. So channeling roll's fine. And first 2. Bam. And then Eamon lifts up just slightly off the ground and begins to hover forward.
Okay. Eamon hovers forward. How about Matthias?
Sorry, what was the question?
So in terms of like you guys, Brienne and Astrid are sort of trying to sneak and flank the camp.
Yeah.
Eamon, I guess, is going to support from the air or something. How about Matthias?
I'm going to stick with Zalgig, and we're going to walk in.
All right. Excellent.
Astrid would have briefly asked Eamon to explain what he'd done to the munition.
I have clutched a few motes of power from the Azure Wind, and I have laced them about the metals of your weapon, the arrowheads, the edge of Matthias's sword. Should anything, ghosts, perhaps demons, come about, you will be able to strike truer than just regular steel. You are welcome.
It sounds very useful. Thank you. And she'll look at her greatsword and kind of wish that she'd use her greatsword. But since we're getting stealthy, it's time.
As she turns to walk away, he reaches out and touches her greatsword and mutters a little thing under his breath.
All right. I need silent move rolls from Brienne and Astrid.
I'm 12, I'm sorry.
Right.
Can I use
So that's all over again.
one of Astrid's successes, please?
Sure, yeah.
Do I
I
have
don't think
any?
my silent move is any good. No.
Yeah, you got
Mine
3.
is. It's just
Come on,
bad.
Brian. You're gonna need more than a plucky attitude for this one.
Yeah.
We built you so good for silent movement.
I think I've got a crit on that as well. Can I just use that to silently go through there? Because apparently my rolls are appalling today.
That's fine. So 2 of y'all use your crits to sneak up the side of the mountain there. Matthias and Zalgeg, who gets up off the stone that he's sitting on and takes his new weapon in hand, turns to Matthias. It's right up over the ridge. There's a stretch, maybe 20 feet or so before we get in the camp. It's a mess. You'll see. And he sort of he takes his weapon in 2 hands and trudges up to the crest of the hill. Matthias is following close behind. Eamon, where are you at in all this?
If they're kind of flanking on the left, Eamon's going to kind of go to the right of where they're traveling up.
Okay.
But constantly keeping them within view. And as soon as they basically crest the hill, Eamon is going to cast a defense spell.
Gotcha.
But he's,
All right.
he's waiting because it doesn't last as long. So.
There is a... gotcha. As everyone sneaks or walks or flies up to the hill, both Eamon, Matthias, you can both see there's a cluster of what looks like trophies or something that marks the crest of this hill, just barely visible from where you were at the bottom of it. But now that as you are getting closer, you can see this sort of bouquet of trophies just along the path. As you walk up, are you doing anything, stopping along it, or continuing on your way?
Stop. To investigate. Zaugig, what's that?
He looks at it and spits on it. This is the trophies. And as he sort of like scans, he takes one of the heads, a dwarf, and takes it off. Just like rips it off of it. There's other skulls, heads, and the like that are all displayed on pikes, hanging from chains and vines and the like of this mass of trophies here. And sort of front and center is a distinctly elven skull that has a rune of chaos carved in the forehead.
Valero. I look towards Zaugig. We will have our vengeance, my friend.
He takes his friend's head and puts it in a bag on his belt. Yes, we will. And he walks over the crest of the hill in full view of the camp. Let's go over here to Brienne and Astrid. Now, you're creeping up the side here quietly. I guess, going from cover to cover? Give me an idea of sort of what you're trying to do and how you do it.
The idea Astrid would have is because of the elevation, we can use that as actually cover in general. Because obviously, unless they're looking down over the top of that hill, they're not going to see us for the most part. So just kind of hugging that terrain, using the trees if we do come to a more exposed area. My PUBG training is coming in handy. And then...
Yes.
and just kind of, if there's like one of those wooden spiky fences, maybe kind of creeping up to that and kind of staying down below it to kind of get a sense. If there's not, just looking for that cover on the crest of the hill before we break it, and hanging and just waiting for the sounds if we can't see. Yeah,
there is some sort of like picket spiky fence that runs around the perimeter of this, but the cover is plentiful as you make your way up. And so Astrid and Brienne pick their way up the side of this hill, and as you get to the fence, you get there, I guess probably actually maybe before the rest, as they've stopped at this trophy. Astrid and Brienne sort of see this mountain pool, small cliff. It is in the far end of, at the far end of the pool, of which some sort of maybe falling water or something is coming from the end of it, pouring into the pool, but it's difficult to tell because of the haze. The pool is sort of large and oblong shaped, and a cluster of huts and dugouts, lean-tos and pens hug the edge of this forested pool. You can see random movements coming from inside the camp, hunched figures and sort of shambling beastmen as they walk from hut to hut or tend small fires under which they're cooking some sort of foul-smelling something or other. The camp is very big, and you only see a handful of creatures moving about in it. What do Brienne and Astrid do with that?
Brienne will immediately probably look to Astrid for guidance. Just like, there's too many. We need to tell the others. They don't know what they're walking into.
Go back. Go quickly. I will stay here. I can create a distraction if nothing else.
And Brienne, as silently as she can, will pick up speed and try and head back to the others.
Okay. Then give me a move silently roll then for Brienne.
Oh, boy.
How about Eamon during all this? This is while Matthias and Salgag are checking out the trophy bouquet.
Eamon is going to move further up, scouting out. You can look. See what he sees.
So you're like trying to crest the hill and see what's going on?
Yeah, maybe like find a tree or something that's at the top of the hill and kind of move up behind it, using it as cover, peeking around so we can get a little elevation.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. All right. In that case, give me a concealment roll with like a +20.
Okay, so that's what, agility?
Yeah, it's agility.
43, so half of that is 21, plus 20, so 42. Okay.
Just roll agility.
So that's going to be I rolled a 10 and a 7, 17? Yeah. Got it.
All right. Eamon using
up silently.
Yeah. You see a similar sight. A large camp that surrounds an oblong hillside pool, some sort of waterfall or something on the edge, but it does look weird. You don't see much movement coming from the camp, but it is clearly meant for a large group of something or other. It looks like perhaps 100 or more creatures could inhabit this camp potentially. You only see maybe a dozen or so spread across the entire thing, walking between huts, rooting around in things, tending fires and the like. From your vantage point, you can see they are runty little creatures with stubby little horns or no horns at all. Not the ram-horned, barrel-chested sort of beast men of legend. And you also see Brienne making her way towards Matthias.
Eamon, he'll assume that she's trying to warn, because this seems a little off. These almost look like just mutants, maybe, or something like that. This isn't.
So you see Matthias and Zalgag have stopped. They're walking back up the hill they're almost cresting it. At this point, Brienne just sort of can see them. And, this all kind of happened at once.
Yeah, I'm going to send Bran to fly down like right at Matthias and just kind of like buzz him.
Okay. That happens.
That's the tower.
That's the tower.
I'll wait till he's taking a drink of coffee first before I buzz the tower.
Maverick, bitch. Damn you, Maverick.
Do I see Brienne coming as his raven flaps amazing?
Yeah.
You weren't trying to conceal yourself, Brienne. You're just trying to be quiet.
No, just be quiet for them, not anything else. I sort of burst out, I guess, in front of them, just like, stop.
I like to imagine she's just coming out and I like point the pistol towards her or something. Oh.
She doesn't seem too bothered by it. She's like, stop. Like, is Zalgag like behind me walking up, or have I got in front of him as well?
You could have gotten in front of him if you want, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've sort of jumped in front of both of you. I'm like, this. There's so many of them. I don't. This isn't good.
How many?
At least 100. And I don't think it's what we're expecting.
I see.
100?
What creatures are they?
Weird little things. I'm just mutants, I guess.
Oh, excellent.
No. I don't think you're understanding me. You can't just walk in there.
Zalgig's like, there's not that. We probably slew 20 or 30 of them the last time we were here.
We ought to not look so well in our favors all day. But I must appreciate that you seek a worthy death, but let us see these foes before we strike at them. Brienne, show us the path. We'll see them before we engage.
This way. And she sort of backs off again up the way she came.
So I imagine it cuts and we're all like on the hill like this, you know, like looking
the camouflage.
Yeah.
Sort of tree branch.
So you all can see now this scene of a beastman sort of encampment around this pool, and it looks just like it looks like they're the worst campers, right? They're not leaving it like they found it, and there's just like garbage everywhere. Right? They don't. Right? There's like trash heaps and garbage. What might be pens for some kind of livestock or something that are sort of haphazardly scattered around. All of it is without any sense of organization or sense, really, and it all surrounds this pool of water. The sound of running water, from which you can hear. But looking at it, the camp's big. It could hold a lot, but as you observe it, you'd be hard pressed to see more than, like I said, a dozen or so figures moving about it. Now they're isolated. They're sort of by themselves. They're not even clustered together.
So I only see about a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Okay. I whisper, you said great hosts. I see only perhaps a dozen, a score of them.
They're the ones we see. We don't know what else is there. We haven't got a clear view.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of places to hide in this camp.
I look to Eamon as well. Or Raven, whichever one I'm able to speak to. What do you see?
Bran's still there.
Yeah, Bran, yeah. What do you see, Bran? Eamon.
I'll tell, kind of him relating this to me. I will tell Bran to look at Brienne and just kind of, like, basically just kind of like saying what she said.
Okay,
I can't talk through him yet.
Okay, I was wondering if you take. I forgot if you took that, but yeah.
No, I can only communicate with him telepathically. Just wait.
Yeah. These are the same foes you fought before, Zalgig, correct?
Some of them. We chased, we chased those of them that we didn't slaughter up hill. They joined with the beastmen here. There were more of them then, but like I said, we must have killed at least 20, maybe even 30. Nasty wounds.
Brienne looks at Matthias just like, he's not in his right mind. Can we trust what he's saying? What he remembers?
I do not question the honor of Zalgig, nor his memory. I think this is probably the only thing he remembers clearly right now.
While this is going on, Astrid wants to scout a bit further around, see if she can get a better idea of what's going on. Kind of further around the hill, even.
Gotcha. In that case, you can easily dip down beneath the crest of the hill to avoid being spotted, but you'll still need to make a silent move roll.
Can I use another nat 20, please?
Sure.
Or whatever we're calling it in this game.
Yeah.
I really don't want to clink, clink, clink and end up with the hordes descending on me right now.
Astrid sneaks further away, and you're trying to get a better view of the camp, like going further along the perimeter of it.
Yeah.
And as you get further in, your view, you don't see like a great big mass of them hiding somewhere. A new one that you hadn't seen might pop out of a dugout and walk over to tend a fire or dump something into the pool. But that's really all you see of the camp. The pool, however, the further in you go, the better view of it you get. And at the far end of the pool where this cliff face is, the water doesn't plunge down the cliff face into the pool. It springs up from the pool in a great jet of water that arcs its way over the cliff face and down on top of the hill that it continues on. And Astrid thinks she can see a path that leads up from the camp, at least to the base of this water spout.
Okay. I'm just going to hold tight for now and just wait and see what Matthias and the others are going to decide about what they're doing. Because I've got a pretty good position, and I don't want to risk clinking on my way back.
Very much, yeah. Yeah, you're in a pretty good position. You have a good view of the entire camp and can provide
Can I see Eamon from where I am?
I don't know. What's Eamon doing?
He's still up in the tree. He basically just kind of like standing on a branch up there, keeping a lookout.
If you can beat 4 degrees of success on a perception, sure.
I'm going to try anyway, because why not?
All right.
I'll look, see if I can find anyone. 2 degrees.
Yeah. Pretty
I could have
well
rolled a 3. You don't know.
Could have. That's true. That's very true. You had a 3% chance. So everyone else, Brienne is sort of back in between where Astrid and Matthias is. Matthias and Zalgay are kind of perched above the crest of this. Eamon is in position. You guys have been in this way for about at least 5 or so minutes observing the camp.
Yeah.
It looks like it's mostly deserted and just some stragglers, but it is big, right? Like there could be.
Right.
Yeah.
The main horde looks like they have moved on. They've left behind the camp followers and those too weak to travel with them. These creatures only respect strength. They leave behind or kill any that are not strong enough to fight in the prey herd itself. These stragglers here are probably weak, but nonetheless, if there are more of them hiding, it's not prudent for a frontal assault. It did take out a band of slayers after all. The last time they had the element of surprise with them. This time we do. I wish to know if they have a leader with them. Let's take a look, see if we can see if one travels with them. A witch perhaps, or a beastman, shaman, or anyone else. Matthias is actually looking for anyone that looks like me. but I'm a shady bitch, so I'm not saying.
Right. All right. So you guys what?
Me to your poser.
Right. Break over the crest of the hill and enter the camp.
Less so entering. I wanted to see if there's any leader in the camp. I rolled a perception check and failed, so I probably don't. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted to know if there was someone that was leading them at this point.
Looking at them enough, you recognize both mutants and Ungor beastmen from that sort of that first attack on Obelheim. That's really the only anything of distinction that you can make about the figures that you see.
Okay. Is there any kind of terrain advantage that we could get in terms of like funneling them into a point where perhaps the group of us would be able to hold a lot longer.
There's a lot of choke points in the village itself. It's sort of a mass of huts and other sort of like makeshift structures. So if you're looking for a place to like make sure they don't swarm you, you can see several positions that are defensible.
What say you, Zalgig?
He kind of finishes whatever scan that he's doing of the village. I think there's only one way to find out. And he starts like he's about to make his way into the encampment.
Matthias doesn't see it as his duty or like place to be able to stop him, because his oath is of a high enough respect in Matthias' eyes. So I'm gonna hoot twice like an owl and once like Bran, or whatever signal it is that we have that something's about to happen. I'll put like a little low whistle to Astrid and Eamon as a kind of like heads up. The crazy one's going in.
He lights a match and we just smell the fire.
Just a little bit of incense that he wafts around. Yeah, he's got like traveling witch hunter candles.
Right.
Like jack-o'-lanterns, yeah.
Yeah, there is a Zalgig gets up and marches into the camp with his newly enchanted tree saw glaive, and there's a mutant shuffling about that at the last minute realizes it's being set upon, and Zalgig just brings his weapon down on it and starts very quickly making a ruckus and causing a scene as he sort of like cuts his way through one side of this encampment. Everyone can see this in full view. There's enemies that have begun to rush Zalgig, and now is the time that we need to roll initiative. Remember, we're just rolling a d10 and adding the first digit of your agility score to that.
Okay, so I'll ask you when it's my turn.
Sure.
That's an 8.
9.
Astrid.
9.
9. And then
So
That didn't
plan
work.
is as Zalgig go in, draw them all towards him. If there's enough of them that we can take him, we'll ambush them. If there's like 100 of them, then we're like, all right, buddy.
yeah. So that's. So you get one more here for me. Ooh, that's not good.
Is that a 10 for you, Brienne?
Yeah, does
Yeah,
Brienne have a
it-
10?
Not rolled with it, yeah.
Yeah, it's 10. It's gone a bit funny
10
for some reason.
How about Eamon? Eamon's at
11.
Yeah, what are you adding? 11?
11.
And then Matthias got Astrid. And then myself. So initiative order is Eamon, Brienne, Astrid, NPC, Matthias, and then enemies. So Eamon, you're first up. It looks like Zalgig just cut down this one. Other mutants and Ungor beastmen are sort of rushing to take him. Zalgig is working his way towards one of those defensive positions that Matthias pointed out. Sure, go.
Okay. I am going to. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast etheric armor as I move into a little, slightly closer position, still up in the trees, maybe at the edge of the tree line. But yeah, anybody who would see, because I'm just going to kind of like dart there, because I can move pretty quick when I'm flying. But as Eamon is casting this and flying, you see like a bluish wind kind of whip around him. I guess I should roll to see if I actually cast the spell, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So gonna cast that spell there. Got it, just fine. But as he's flying, you see like bluish winds kind of whipping around him and taking, it looks like every time they whip through him, he becomes slightly more translucent, and you can kind of see through him a little bit as he's just not quite there. But he's still, you can see his full form and everything.
Yeah.
But that's my move and action.
All right. Brienne.
Brienne will take out her bow and try and pick off anyone who's raising a weapon towards Zalgeg. And
There are 3 very close to him that are rushing towards.
okay. I was going to use, is it sharpshooter or rapid reload, to just try and hit 2
So
at
maybe
least.
2 attacks.
Or knock him down,
Okay.
yes. So that's 20.
Okay.
Okay. And the second
you go.
attack,
Same one or a different one?
probably a different one just to knock them off from actually hitting him.
Okay.
Okay.
That's 10. All right. So here we go. Brienne, you let fly with 2 arrows that hit 2 of the mutants that are rushing towards Zalgeg with makeshift weapons. Doesn't knock out either of them from the fight, but they are 2 wounds against them. That's your 2 attacks. Makes it Astrid's turn.
Okay, how easy would it be for me to light one of these arrows? Assuming we have like the dregs or whatever alcohol we were drinking last night. What I'd like to do is try and set a hut on fire.
Oh yeah, you're in a very good position to do that.
Alright, so
Yeah,
do you want me to
like
just use an action to
flaming
get
arrow.
the arrow flaming? Or half action?
Give me a I think it's gonna take at least half action.
Because I have quick load
what?
and master gunner, so I can drop my reload time, but obviously it's a bit different.
Yeah, I'd say it takes a half action, so you're gonna make 1 attack with this flaming arrow.
Okay.
Kind of like wrap the stuff around it, set it, and then as you fire.
She wants to just cause some distractions and not really give away where she is right now.
Okay.
So so that's a success.
There we go. So what part of the encampment are you trying to set on fire?
Probably like trying to think. I don't want to like arc it too far. Probably just somewhere semi nearby. Because if I do the arc too much, they'll be able to follow it backwards. So just probably one of the nearer by huts. Just cause some chaos, and then I'll probably move next time.
All right, so everyone can see this flaming arrow kind of streak out, and at this point, Astrid's kind of at the opposite end of where Zalgeg is. So like all the attention's focused more on Zalgeg. No one really sees where the arrow comes from, but the hut catches on fire and begins to smolder and burn, which the party can see. Zalgeg is going to go with his attack here.
Zalgeg has a crit, by the way, from Wobbin if he wants to use it.
Nice.
Damn, that's a good attack.
Yeah, that's a really good attack. Thank you. I will keep that in mind. Crit for Zalgeg. This is against one of the ones that Brienne hit, and so yeah, the Zalgeg brings his tree saw glaive down onto this mutant that's rushing towards him, and just a spray of blood covers the huts nearby as it falls down, and Zalgeg continues his fight. Matthias, it is your turn.
I sent about how many of them are like swarming out to attack Zalgeg? Does it look like?
Right now, there are 2 that are in melee with Zalgeg. One of them has been severely wounded by Brienne's arrow. There are 4 others that are making their way there. Looks like to attack him in melee. They might be trying to like arrive as one group and kind of coordinate their attack. And then there are 2 more that are preparing ranged weapons. The others that you saw either have hidden or fled or something. It's only those 8 that you can see right now that are visible.
Okay. Am I in range
Makes sense.
to shoot?
You're in range to shoot either of the ones that's in melee with him with your pistol.
Let's do that. I'm actually so much better with my sword. By the way, what does my blessing on the sword do, Eamon?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it literally just in case you fight like a ghost or.
There are some monsters that can only be hit by magic weapons.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha.
I was mostly thinking
Okay.
just for the demon. I don't know if it actually affects it or not.
Alrighty. So. Yeah, I'll take a shot. Why not? Let's do it. I'll take a shot at one next to Zalgeg, and that is a hit on a 34. How did I do this? Yep. Which is... Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to roll damage, which is
Ooh.
12 points of damage to the 43 left arm.
Left arm. And that was the one that was already wounded, or a new one?
Probably the one that's already wounded. Yeah, I take the one that's already taken a hit.
All right. 43 left arm. Go ahead and roll me a critical on that one. D100.
Ooh, that is 68.
68 here. Here we go. All right. Ooh. You shoot the mutant with your pistol, and you see his shoulder sort of explode in a spray of blood. And it goes spinning around and drops back behind some of the huts, dropping a weapon that it had in his arm. You're not sure if it's dead, but it looked like a vicious shot there. Anything else from Matthias?
Second shot, same guy. Is miss.
Miss. All right.
Yep.
Boom, boom. They go. The sound of pistol fire does draw and split their attention somewhat, as the four that were originally heading towards Zalgeg kind of reassess, and looks like they split up. Two of them towards Matthias, and another two onward towards Zalgeg. But they are advancing cautiously on you. All right, here we go. Matthias. Mutants. Looks like one of them's going to hit you at location 41. For 5 damage. So like, one of them, right? One of them rushes forward and attacks Matthias with like a hatchet or something, just sort of like a makeshift weapon. Does not get through the armor. The second one swings and misses Matthias. And we'll see how the battle with Zalgeg goes. Zalgeg actually got hit. All right, Zalgeg takes a hit, but is nowhere near close to stopping. Eamon, your turn. Top of the second round.
So, who all is on Zalgeg?
There are currently 3 combatants in melee with Zalgeg, 2 Ungor, Beastmen, and 1 mutant. There are 2 mutants in melee with Matthias.
Okay. Then Matthias is going to be just fine. He's not worried about him with mere mutants. But he's going to turn his attention to one of the Ungors. And
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to use do a channeling roll.
Mhm.
And so channel just fine, so that's fine. And roll that.
Ooh.
And here's my extra die. So it does not duplicate. So yeah, I drop 12 lightning on
Alright.
the body of one of the beastmen.
Nice. Lightning shoots out from the tree cover as Eamon begins to blast away at these beastmen. As you're hitting one of the ones that's on Zalgeg, yes?
Yeah, one of the beastmen. Yeah.
Or 12. All right. There we go. And all right, one of them is fried and sort of like staggers backwards a bit, still on his feet, but you hit him full on with that lightning blast. That was a cast and channel. Brienne, it's your turn.
Okay, seeing this, Brienne will... She's still not very aware of the whole team, so she sees a couple on Matthias, and if anything, she's trying to just clear the path and stop them to do it, so she's going to do exactly the same again.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Right.
7.
And again.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She's just quick firing them. 2 different ones. She's basically trying to knock them off of people, so she's just quick firing to knock them off of people rather than actually doing damage.
Gotcha. So, Matthias, you're fighting these 2 mutants. One of them has like an old, sword of some kind that hasn't been used in years. The other has a hatchet, and these 2 arrows fly in from Brienne's direction, both striking true. Neither one of them are down, but the second one is left a deep wound on the mutant. 2 attacks from Brienne. That makes it Astrid's turn.
Okay. I'm going to use the fire and the smoke and skirt around and into the camp. I want to just move in so that I can kind of come at them from the rear. And then just use, I guess, do I have a remaining half action? Because it's quite a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just use that. Oh no, I didn't need to, because I've got the double load. Okay, then I just use my longbow to take 1 shot, because I've got the thing that gets rid of the reload time.
Yes.
I'll just take 1 shot at any outlier that's back here, kind of within that longbow range.
Okay. Yeah, the entire camp is within your longbow range.
Okay. I'll just hit one that's running in, just anything to thin the herd. Try and keep cover if I can, but we'll see.
Yeah.
That'd be a success. And 9 points of damage to 64, which is the body.
9 points, 264. And that was just another one that weren't necessarily targeting one that was on Matthias or Zalgeg.
Yeah, no, just anyone running into that. Just keep kind of picking them off.
All right, yeah. Another arrow streaks in and hits one of the Ungor in the shoulder blades and draws blood there. All right. Zalgeg fights onward. 3 in melee with our Dwarven Slayer. And here.
Get him, buddy.
Here we go. The first one's a miss.
Got a 20.
Oh, Zalgeg.
Oh, he does have 20. I'm not going to use that.
20.
Not going to use it.
Sorry, Jim, I just remembered one of those is armor piercing damage as well on Astra's shot.
And Zalgeg got an Ulrich's Fury.
Ooh.
So,
with us.
Need his presence. No. All right, there we go.
Sigmar as well.
Yes. Zalgeg continues to swing his makeshift polearm around and catches one of the Ungor in the neck with it, taking it to the ground, and he sort of like tugs on the polearm for a minute, does not come loose, and instead draws his backup weapon as there are 2 remaining on Zalgeg. And that's it for me. Matthias, your turn.
Okay, there is a creature on me which has been shot twice by Brienne. I will.
You have 2 that are on you. Each one have been shot by her once.
That's right. Okay. All right, let's swipe in at the first one for a 29 to hit, which will deal 10 points of damage to his left leg.
Its left leg. I need you to roll me a crit dice.
Alrighty, that crit is 78.
78 here. All right. Matthias cleaves his sword through the mutant's kneecap, destroying it and knocking the mutant to the ground. Just a second. See if he can maintain consciousness. It does not. The mutant quickly passes out from the blow and is bleeding from the wound to its knee. Used to be an adventurer until it took a sword.
That's
first attack.
Okay. I'll attack the second one for a
just barely.
God, that hurts. Yeah, no, just a miss.
All right.
Nope.
All right.
Swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss from Matthias there. My turn. One of them remaining on Matthias. Its friend, its companion, life mate has gone down to an attack. It is going to try to retaliate. Hits Matthias, location 31, for 12 damage.
Ooh. I'm fine.
All right.
Fine.
And let's see these over here on Zalgag. Oh, that was a bad one. That's a bad one.
Oh, that's a bad miss.
And only one hit on Zalgag here. So, that's a fury.
Zalgag. Okay, please.
Oh, that's not that bad.
There you go. Ulrich doesn't like you.
Let's see where he's at here. But it's still a bad hit, and Zalgag takes this Ungor kind of rushes up with a barbed spear and pierces Zalgag right through his right arm as this happens here. So still fighting, but that was a nasty wound. Into my turn, top of round 3 with Eamon. No hidden enemies have emerged during these last 2 rounds. In fact, there's 1 left on Matthias, 2 left on Zalgag, and then 2 more that are kind of at a medium distance, sort of looks like they're maybe trying to sneak forward towards one of the 2 combatants, but they haven't moved into melee range yet.
But it doesn't. So it doesn't look like anybody else has seen those 2 that are sneaking up. Maybe.
No, perhaps no one's moved to attack them yet.
Okay. Well, he's
no,
gonna attack.
I think Astrid has shot one of them. My bad.
Oh, she has. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
never mind. Ooh. Well, he saw Eamon, or goddamn, he saw Matthias took a what the fuck is wrong with me? A grievous wound. So I'm going to throw a lightning bolt. I'm gonna throw a lightning bolt at that guy.
All right. Bring it.
Okay, that channeled okay.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
All right.
Wait. Yeah, that's gonna work with my stone. Here's the extra die. Does not duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
And why did it not roll damage?
Or the hit location.
Yeah, that's weird. So 12 to... we'll just call it 76.
Sure. And this was one of the ones on the meleeers, or one of the ones that's kind of sneaking up?
No, this is the one on Matthias.
Ah, yes. This one is pretty grievously wounded in the first place from an arrow from Brienne, so go ahead and roll me a critical for your lightning bolt. Eamon.
29.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. And that was to the location 76. Nice. Body shot. Here we go. Your lightning bolt burns a hole in the Ungor the mutant's rib cage, turning its lungs to ash, and as electric sparks burst from its mouth, its eyes, and its fingertips, as Matthias is kind of like engaged in combat with it, parrying and about to attack. It just sort of like hits with a lightning bolt and burns itself up from the inside out, falling down as a charred husk with a giant hole in its chest.
Fatality.
There is now no one in melee with Matthias, one in melee with Zalgeg, and two that are at a medium distance, keeping just right now. It looks like they're too scared to attack. Brienne, it's your turn.
Brienne will now see that Matthias is effectively through, will turn to Zalgeg and just fire.
All right, sounds good.
That is nope.
Nope.
Oh, damn.
Nope. Never mind. She misses both.
All right, 2 arrows whiz past. There we go. Astrid.
Is there an enemy up anywhere that I can shoot?
There are 2 enemies at range within there. Yes, there are 2 enemies that are within your range who are not otherwise attacking someone.
Then I'm just gonna take both my shots, same as Brienne.
All right.
Ooh. Nope. Again. Ooh. There we go.
There we go. That's a hit.
Oh, I just thought I could use my pistol. Can I use my? It's the exact same scores, just different damage. Can I use pistol?
That's fine if you want to. Yeah.
'Cause I have 2. Okay.
Yeah. You have 2 pistols.
There you go. That's a 13 to 31, which is right arm.
Right arm. Is this the one that you hit last time with? One is armor piercing. Did you? Yeah. Is this the same one you hit last time?
Yeah. Finished him off.
Yeah. Gotcha. Go ahead and roll me a critical on that one.
Yeah.
Location 31. Right arm.
That's a 48.
48. Oh, right.
Sorry, I forgot I had guns. I forget all of these like weapons I have strapped to me.
Shooting, actually.
Guns, like a great sword, guns. And, yeah. That's true. You are a pistolier. As Astrid takes aims with her pistol, shattering the Beastman's wrist, smashing of the many small bones of the wrist, and tendons, it drops its weapon and is having. It's going to have to make a toughness test to avoid an even worse fate. See how it does. That's not happening. Drops what it's holding and is stunned as it kind of just reels from the pain, grabbing its sort of like ruined and floppy hand that you shot through.
Giving up my stealth now. Battles in our favor.
That was very good. Zalgeg took that wound last time, not having it. He retaliates against this dude. Hits. That's some damage. It's not very good damage. 5. Second attack hits. He just kind of like takes his wood-cutting axe and like chops into the beast man that he's fighting. It's not dead yet, but it's a bloody affair. Matthias, it's your turn.
Okay, I am going to. Is it bonus action to take my healing potion?
I mean, it's like a half action to drink one.
Half action, yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. So I'll do that. Fill myself up. And then level my pistol towards one of them that's on Zalgeg, if possible one that's been shot before, and shoot them for a hit. That will deal. Making me turn Ulrich. 21 points of heretical damage.
21 points to location 94. That's the left leg. Go ahead and roll me a critical on that one.
All right, the
very nice
crit is. Oh yes, nice. Yes! I'm like still drinking the potion while I shoot this guy.
Ooh. All right, so Matthias's bullet smashes into the Beastman's hip, ricocheting from the pelvis into the abdominal cavity, bouncing off ribs, sternum, and spine, deforming its way as it rips through guts and internal organs before exploding. Give me another hit location roll, please.
Oh,
Head.
that is 39.
For exploding out of the left arm. He dies 7 rounds later. 7 rounds of agony that it takes this particular Beastman to die. That was. You have got anything? You've drank your potion. You shot.
Shot him. Yeah, that's my turn.
Who do I have left? There were 2 of them remaining. The other 2, that medium range, both of them have been attacked by Astrid. They see Matthias shoot this one down. Brienne's there with her bow as well. They realize sort of the jig is up, and these 2 mutants drop their weapons and appeal to the mercy of the party.
Am I the only one whose brain just went, well, that's a mistake?
Did we pack any mercy? I don't remember.
They're holding like farming implements turned weapons, you know. They don't have. They're just 2 mutants, and most of these mutants have you know an obvious and many of them debilitating mutation. Many of the ones that attacked you were the more like physically fit and able ones.
In a so like it's a battle, so comes to a halt. In a just because this pleases me as a person, I look to Brienne. Is there 2 of them left standing, right?
2 of them are left standing out in the open.
I hand her my pistol and say, choose one.
And she looks at him confused and looks to Astrid. Guidance, if anything.
Astrid's like way across the pool.
Yeah, she's still like walking across the camp, keeping an eye out for anyone else.
And Eamon will slowly be descending down to the ground from the tree line.
Brienne, you're on your own with this decision.
She looks to Matthias because she's not used to making her own decisions when surrounded by people sort of above her. So she draws her bow and just lets loose on the one on the right.
Okay. They are not attempting to defend themselves. They are, you know, just there. You can give. Go ahead and make me an attack roll with +20 for that. I mean, you're just trying to kill one of them, or you're trying to just shoot one of them?
He's told me to shoot them. I'm just shooting him.
Okay. An arrow passes like right by one of them, and it sort of like freaks out as they're like, "We surrender."
I was going to say, if Brienne had used sharpshooter as a half action, that would have added another 20 to it.
That would have added another 20. That's very true. Thank you. Your attack hits.
Okay. That's 9.
Mm-hmm. 9 damage to its it's like a left arm here. It grips the wound, flinching as you shoot at it, and sort of like, you know, again repeats its, you know, "We surrender."
And she immediately looks back to Matthias.
Again.
And she knocks another arrow and just sort of takes a slow breath and rolls again.
Let's go ahead and roll off on initiative between just Brienne and this mutant, because seeing you knock back another one, you can keep that 23 that you rolled. I don't know. I got an 11 for my initiative.
Oh gosh, hang on, sorry.
That's just
Yeah, you get the magic.
14. So Brienne is faster on the draw and hits the mutant as it dives for cover instead of just standing there and getting shot.
Okay.
You hit it. Roll
Yep.
damage.
That's 12.
Yeah. All right. You hit it in the right arm this time, and it goes it's diving for cover as you hit it. And those of you close enough, sort of in the camp, mostly Matthias and Eamon, sees it writhing in pain on the ground between two huts.
Again.
You have to move to shoot it.
I was to
this
say,
time,
she takes a couple of steps forward
Mhm.
and repeats
I never said I was a
until...
good dad.
If you're firing point blank like that,
Yeah.
you just hit.
That's another plus 30 or 20.
It's
Yeah, I
another
was gonna
plus.
say, your
Gotta learn
ballistic
this
skill's like
guy.
120 at this point.
Borrow him.
Right? Yeah. You shoot him again. Not quite enough for a kill, but
She just keeps walking and keeps shooting, basically.
all right.
So brutal, this poor person.
This is really brutal. Go ahead and just roll me damage for
Oh.
double digits. Mm.
Astrid will pull out enough.
Fucking Wobbit.
Hey, Wobbit, thank you.
Free one. Oh.
4 arrows, not dead yet.
Yeah, I'm still going.
Astrid
That's
is
all right.
calling out for her to stop.
Okay.
Astrid has questions. But it's up to you
Well,
if Brienne hits that or not.
Can
Well,
I
there's the other
aim
ones.
for nothing vital, if you see what I mean?
Well, I'm already killing one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you're only killing one of them still? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, carry on.
I'm still
I
just
should-
going.
All right.
Making a head shrug.
Yeah, there is another one who's standing there just absolutely terrified. Is this a kill, Brienne?
Yes.
Okay. The mutant stops writhing in pain, and it's Brienne, Matthias, Eamon, and Astrid sort of moving towards. Zalgeg is considering his wound, but he's not really doing anything to bind it up or anything. And a scared mutant who looks like he's been tarred and feathered. Instead of body hair, it seems as though it just is feathers. But the rest of him is not otherwise avian or otherwise bird-like. It just kind of is a scrawny, spindly, with feathers instead of hair.
Brienne will then point her bow at him and just say, "Will you talk with us?"
Yes. And he's just like terrified.
And she lowers her bow. Well, doesn't lower her bow, but just takes a couple of steps back, looking to the others.
Would that Idris were here, I said to myself. Well, there is one of them left. Astrid, perhaps you would show us a way of the Ulricans.
Astrid will look at Matthias, like questioning why he doesn't want to do his own dirty work. And move up to the beastman. Tell us about the water. Quickly.
Yes. The waters is holy. Yes. Yes, it is holy water.
Have you been visited by the witches?
The blessed ones.
Yes.
We are not fit. We are not fit for their presence. We do not look upon them. We do not speak to them. We do not. No.
What is so special about the water?
Yes. They say it is holy. We drink it if we need. It flows downriver, and it keeps us safe.
Safe? How? What happens when you drink it?
We are renewed and filled with light. And he gestures towards the water as if there's... drink.
What's the Warhammer equivalent of an inside check to see if he's a filthy liar?
That would be an intelligence check to, I believe it's discern. Just discern. While you're doing that, I'd like to take care of Matthias's.
Please. Also, Wobbit has given the free wild magic surge to Eamon. He rolled them accidentally, but now they have become real, so I looked those up as well. Matthias, once per day, I can read any written language for 1d4 rounds. I bleed profusely during combat, even if I'm not wounded. I smolder, I bleed, I turn white. Yeah. Maybe I like
now. That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe I've been flailing myself because I miss uterus. I find a glass vial containing a highly volatile liquid.
All right.
Okay, and Eamon 3398. Eamon once per day. Oh wait, did you get the same one as me? No, I looked up. Oh, I must have looked up yours because.
No, that is the same number. 3398 for both of you.
Did I
3398. Wow.
You both rolled it? Wait.
No, you didn't. You rolled 8.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, okay. That was Eamon's. Eamon can read that once per day. Any language. That was my mistake. Okay, my first one is that all teeth within 50 yards are as black as coal for 1d4 weeks. So we've all got suitably grimdark dentistry going on. Solid. Yes, Eamon can read any language once per day. Second one for Eamon is that he bleed. No, why do I keep looking this one up? I've not. Okay, I think I looked up. I must have gotten confused. I must have looked up all of Eamon's wild magic surges. So, I haven't a day of it. Okay, it's still a long week. Okay, so Eamon, all of my wild magic surges I rolled out are not mine. They are in fact Eamon's. He bleeds profusely. He finds a glass vial containing a highly volatile liquid, and he can read any other language. My ones are that all teeth in 50 yards are as black as coal for 1d4 weeks. And then 6606 for me is I regress to infancy, but I quickly grow to my correct age.
You're reborn.
I'm reborn, yeah. Like
born again as an Orican. We knew it was coming.
And I can't detect magic if I'm wearing a magic ring. I mean, I'm probably wearing like some kind of a holy ring, so that might that might work.
Okay, yeah. Gosh.
We haven't found him in a coffin yet either. While we're thinking about weird wild magic.
Target regresses to quickly grows to correct age.
I'm going to burn you.
Right.
That's a good nightmare sequence.
Yeah, actually, I did kill my family when I was like 13, so you know.
Yeah, there's something about this place that triggers something in Matthias. I think it's perhaps it's not a physical regression, but more of an emotional and maybe mental regression as the fire that Astrid has burned, or that Astrid started has engulfed about a quarter of the camp now. This pool of water something's up with it. And Matthias just has this moment of regression as he relives the events of his childhood.
Yeah, I look distant as I'm replaying through this memory.
Is Astrid done with the mutant? You were trying to discern whether or not it was a.
Yeah, I wanted to see like if it was really obviously lying.
It's not obviously lying.
Standard success.
Scared, delusional, perhaps, but doesn't seem to be lying.
What I would like to do is go as quickly as I can over to the pool. I say, wait, do not kill him until I return. And she's gonna go and get some water from this pool. She'll look around for like a piece of trash that's like gonna be able to hold water, so that she doesn't have like a convenient tankard or anything on her.
Yeah.
And she's not gonna fill her good alcohol bottle with it. And she'll bring that back, and she'll basically just yank back his head and pour it down his throat to see what happens.
Okay. You pull his feathers back as you pour the drink down. And let me see here what happens to this guy. He starts to cough and sputter as he drinks this, and the water as you pour it has a pale green sort of quality to it, color. Chokes,
Like
sputters. Not that vivid, more like a jade or something like that. It's deep.
An algae green.
In its color. Yeah, more like an algae green. And it coughs and sputters as sort of like doubles over in pain after moments of taking it. And you can see, starting from its mouth onward, its skin is appears soft and malleable and like putty almost, and its feathers start getting all mashed up in it, and you can see it kind of this transformation on its skin start from the mouth down to the throat and then spread out as it's kind of like doubled over. He stands back up, pulls his arms away, like one of them kind of has a ropey, fleshy piece of himself that's sort of stuck to him. That's what happens after he immediately drinks it. He is in pain, clearly, and I need both Brienne and Eamon to make me perception rolls. What's that, Astrid?
I was going to take my remaining loaded pistol and just shoot him in the head with it.
Okay.
If that's okay.
The shot brings me around out of my reverie.
Oh, 5 degrees of success.
Yeah.
I'm just, like, how likely is it I'm going to miss at point blank?
None. If you put your pistol barrel up, no, you don't need to roll anything. You just like if you put your pistol barrel to his head.
To his like squidgy head, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like what you would expect. Astrid has shot people in the head before, I'm sure, and this is it makes a wet, smacky kind of noise, and there's no exit wound out of
like shooting into data.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
but it drops.
Glance at Matthias and then look to Eamon with the whatever I've been using to hold the water. I imagine there's like a little drag in it, and I'll hold it out to Eamon for him to inspect, thinking there must be something magical or similar about it.
Brienne, could you give me a perception test real quick? Eamon spots movement from elsewhere in the camp, particularly from the region that's like being engulfed in flame. It looks like there were maybe others in here that were not fighting or hiding or something that are now moving out. Brienne does not see that.
I've got back to bad rolls again.
Yeah, I will point out that movement to the others. I believe there was some escaping.
Matthias?
Okay.
Alright, was there a question? Oh shit, posting in chat.
Yeah. There is Eamon has pointed out that there were other mutants in this encampment that are attempting to try to sneak away and flee.
And yeah. They could run back to their masters. Perhaps they will lead us to more answers.
What about the water? And what
It's
is it to
tainted in
him?
some way. Perhaps they have been poisoning others with this. I wonder if it has a source. If some witchcraft is upon it.
Seems likely from what he said. Eamon, what do you think of it?
Let me see. And Eamon will go ahead and pull out his dish that he does his scrying and stuff in, and scoop up some of this water and look over it. Can I do like a magic sense roll or anything like that, or
Magic sense work.
cool?
Sweet.
That's a success.
There you go.
Barely.
There is a strong pull of just raw magic coming from the water. It's quite intense.
Let me see if I can do anything about it. And he's going to begin casting, and he's just going to see what happens when he tries to dispel the water. If there is an effect on it, right?
Go ahead and make your rolls for that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a channeling roll first. Boom, that's good. And then I'm gonna put 2 into it. So the last one is going to be my all damn day. Yeah, so it goes off without a hitch.
Sweet. It appears to have no effect.
It's still magical.
It is. It's not like enchanted, like it's inherently magical.
Okay. This quite possibly could have been because of ritual magic. Normal spells can't affect them the same way. There could be a site that has corrupted this water.
What was it you told me the other man had said about beyond the water?
He said that was where the darkness lie.
Yes.
Seems he was
I
right.
do not recommend swimming in it, though. They headed back into the caves, these, like, cultists? Yeah.
Yeah, you can see several of the mutants and what looks like maybe looks like there's like 2 of them and then maybe a pig that are making their way through the huts. They're not. You can see them. They're trying to hide, but they're not particularly good at it, and they're also trying to move quickly. But they are making their way towards that path that leads up the cliff face.
We should follow them back into their caves. Zalgeg,
Yep.
is your bloodthirst sated yet?
He looks up at you, and he's retrieved his weapon. Not yet. Soon, I hope.
Then let us press on, unless anyone needs to rest. We're all well, are we not? No one's really
so.
taken any, like, big hits. Yeah.
No, I don't. I think. I don't
Which
think
one?
Yeah, I
I-
think actually, I took the
Only you,
potion. I'm feeling better, yeah.
Yeah, only you, Matthias.
Only with eyes. All right then. So if the party wants, it'd be possible to intercept these fleeing mutants as they make their way up this path. It didn't sound like that's what you were trying to do. It sounded like you were trying to like let them lead you deeper in. Yes.
Right.
Okay. The 2 of them and this pig thing exit the encampment, and as you get further into it and sort of back towards the cliff face, all of you can see indeed that there's this giant water spout that erupts from the pool and sort of sprays up over this cliff face into whatever's up at the top, and that a path leads up from the encampment sort of up the cliff face and looks like it disappears behind this spray of water that is rising up. That is where the 2 mutants and the pig thing are making their way towards.
gonna follow them up there, and see. This is where the omen spoke of. Then, through this water. Should be careful lest it has the same properties of that from the pool. Does anyone have an umbrella? Don't worry, I carry one with me at all time.
I mean, technically, Astrid is covered head to toe in metal, so she could wade.
Right. Yeah, I've got a hat.
I've got a shield.
Mild magic search for the pig thing when the party catches them. All right. I'll go ahead and roll that just to see. All right. So Astrid is what, going forward? Are you are right. Like there's not necessarily.
She's gonna like just weigh that risk up in her mind and just be like, today's a good day to die.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So the pig thing can teleport at will, but it arrives with only 1 hit point.
All right. Pig thing, TPs at will.
Yep.
All right. So,
Fighting us.
Right. The party makes their way through the encampment. Trash heaps, pins for all kinds of creatures that are no longer there, dugouts through which you can hear the sort of soft groaning and the like of those wretched creatures who are unable to get out of the way. And as the two mutants and the pig thing work their way up the cliff face, party stands at the base of it. We'll have to figure out next week what is inside the darkness that lies behind the water.
Amazing.
This one flew by. Good grief.
That really did. Yeah, it really did.
Yeah.
The pig's like, my home planet needs me. Oh, holy shit. Well, my friends, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode of Warhammer Beneath Dark Bowels. Did you guys enjoy yourselves? Let us know there in the chat. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button and join us. And be sure to catch up on all of the episodes on the YouTube channel. I'll drop a link for you guys there, of course. You can chat to us all the time on our Discord, where you can chat Warhammer with us. We're all in there talking about the sessions and worrying about how we're all going to die in the following week. But, man, we're getting closer and closer to our little finale here. I'm very apprehensive about what's inside the waterfall, but I'm looking forward to finding out what it is. So we can burn it. You can burn waterfalls, right? That's a thing. But let's go around the casting crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Of course, where can we find you guys online? Jim Davis, great job tonight. How was that for you?
I'm doing great. We're reaching a point where hopefully questions start getting answered and all these little threads start to get resolved. Having a great time with it. Can't wait to see what happens. I'm one half of WebDM. You can come check us out on YouTube. We may or may not have a video coming out pretty soon. It's another good one. And you can also catch us here on Twitch on Tuesdays at 6 Central and Thursdays at 6 Central and Sundays at 1 Central for Starward Bound, Link Between Two Rivers, and RPG. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jim. Great job as always. Pruitt.
Well, that was absolutely amazing. I love this game so much. It just sucks because when you really love something, time just zips by, and I look down and it's been 10 minutes 3 hours later. And so I can't wait. I'll have to wait a whole week. But I can't wait to get back into the skin of Eamon. And the video is up, by the way, just so you know. I'm the other half of WebDM. Like Jim said, we got stuff and places. You should check out the things at the places, that being our stuff. Can't wait till next week. And let's go to Act 3 of Save or Dice, which is going to be the finale tonight. So that's exciting.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Awesome. Great stuff. And Charlie.
That's me. What a session! I hate when these end. It genuinely angers me. But yeah, go support these guys over on Sable Dice and on WebDM. And obviously, Will's here all the time, so come and bug him all the time. I am back next Wednesday for more Warhammer. I will be in the Discord as usual. And on Tuesdays, I play over on Scratchicus' channel at 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UK. It's a really intense and fun 5e campaign that's going on there. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. I wanna know what's behind that water. I wanna know when Matthias' twin brother is gonna appear.
I don't want to know that. I don't want to know.
I don't want to know the secret of Pixie.
Right.
Oh shit! Also, for the Ref Excephalo, 2 years subscribed. Fucking awesome, dude. Thank you so much. And last but
Oh
not
yeah,
least,
shout
Alex.
out to the Chaos Chorus. Sorry, shout out to Chaos Chorus.
Yes.
Who are here every
Those are
week
awesome.
and growing and monstrous.
Plotting. Great stuff. Alice.
Yeah, again, another good session. I know everyone's already said it, but I genuinely do love this game so much and wait for every single week. I think we all talk about it during the week in the chat, so we never really stop talking Warhammer. It's been interesting playing a completely different character to Nora. But yeah, I love it. I already can't wait for next week and see what's behind the waterfall. I am White Rabbit Pick. I am the other half of Scratchicus, and yeah, we do loads over on our channel. I'm currently in our City of Mist campaign, which is on Mondays, 8 p.m. EST, where I play in that one, and I DM on the channel a couple of times. So yeah, but can't wait till next week.
Awesome. Well, fab job, everyone, tonight. Not bringing the Star Wars, but there's not tonight. They're picking it back up next week. But instead, we have, nonetheless, Sable Dice, the finale, coming up here in just a few minutes' time. So myself, Jim, and Prue are going to run over there to YouTube to go and finish off that game. It's sure to be climactic and eventful. But until then, my friends, of course, tomorrow, back normal time for City of Mist at 1, and then Video Games at 4, and then Skyrim at 8. Welcome in, Scraticus. We're just going. Bye, guys. Lots of love. Till next time. Try to start tuning out ones. Want to be there laughing when you do. Bye. Also, make your friends kill people. Bye.